That Dragon Ball music. That's a Dragon Ball Z climax music. That's not really the tune, but you know, screw it. Hey, welcome back, fellow collectors, the Braves toy review. So I just couldn't help it. I had to get my fucking first curse word for the review. Had to get my Dragon Ball Z review in. So here he is. This is Broly, and he's a behemoth. Now I've had this guy for a while, a good while. It's been a long time. You know when he came out. For those of you who don't know when he came out, it was like last year sometimes. I actually got him from the Barnes and Nobles. I used the if you're not on it, check this out. You go to Barnes and Noble's website. Excuse me, and you sign up for their kids. They had like a little kids premium account thing or whatever, where you can get like discounts on books for your kids and toys for your kids. Well, here's the deal. They give you like I think it's like $20 or 20% off, 30% off, some kind of coupon in the beginning, and it slashes the price of whatever you're going to buy there. So I got him for like $20 or $30 or some shit like that. Really good. So yeah, SHFiguarts Broly. He's on the side looking like a behemoth. Blah, God, pecs, pectoral muscles, and then you got all the Dragon Ball Z Bandai and all that stuff down here. Warning! Choking hazards. You're gonna choke on his pecs. And then the bunch got a little sticker with the little cat with the hat. That's really cool. And then you got some nice dot matrix work. It's just a bigger version of the SHFiguarts box you typically get with the Dragon Ball Z figures. Taking him out, you can see just how huge this guy is, and I'm talking about he is huge. When I say huge, I mean huge. Like, here's him in his packaging, because he's not going to stand up on his own, next to Ultra Magnus. You can't see Ultra Magnus' head, but Ultra Magnus' head is like, damn, bruh, you huge. Like that, right? And then, if you haven't already seen my Figuarts Hulk review, take a look at that. A cappuccino. Grande. Starbucks was all out. Now you're pissed off. Oh, shit! I'm leaving that in. I'm not even going to edit that out. And then, here he is, next, because I just got all these guys with me right now. Here he is next to, look at that. Look at this guy. He's like that much taller than the Select's Rhino. Actually, it's more like that. But yeah, that's crazy. So that's just how big he is. He's huge, bruh. He comes with a lot of stuff, right? He's got 2 extra heads. One yelling like, ha! One straight face like, I'm not playing. I don't play that shit. I ain't no punk. And he got a little smirk face like, yeah, you about to get that ass whooped. That's exactly what that face is. He has his energy blaster things, little 3 balls there. He's got balls and they're green. They're not Dragon Balls. They're not Broly Balls. They're Broly Power Balls. And they're right there. And then he comes with extra hands, like he's shooting his power hands for each side, and he's got his I'm grabbing your face hand for each side. And of course you hear my dog barking. You would have never known that was a dog if I had not told you. Then he has his stand. You have to have this stand. This guy is not standing up without this stand. It takes a lot of effort to make him stand without this stand. So stand him on his stand. Let's open him up and get him out of there, and we can see what all this Broly has to offer to our plastic brethren. Now, Broly's hairpiece just came off. Sucks. I was messing around with him earlier, and that's probably how it came a little loose. Like, he's not going bald or anything. It's just, you know. All right, so here's Broly, and he is intense. I remember getting this guy, and he's like heavy as hell. I remember getting this guy, and I was like, damn, that dude is heavy, man. I mean, he is top heavy. It kind of reminds me of the Batman animated figure line, whereas he's got this huge body and these tiny little feet. Little feet. Aw. Okay, so yeah, there we go. Now, the sculpt work on this guy is out of control, though. Look at those biceps. Like, you even bench press curl, bro? That shit is ridiculous. And he's got double articulation there, as a matter of fact. And he's got the hinge, the bicep swivel there. So I don't understand why Hulk didn't have it, because you obviously can't have it. But I will say that this guy has a much more cartoonish looking body build, whereas the Hulk sculpture looks more realistic. So maybe that's why. Again, these joints they have him on are totally different from what you will typically see from Figuarts. Look at this, okay? You got the hinge deal here. You got this massive block thing here construct, and I believe there's a ball going into it, as a matter of fact, and it's on a hinge on the inside of here. So those are some really complex joints that Bandai uses for these guys, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate what they do. I'm looking at what you do and I'm appreciating it. All right, heads on a on that same joint, that same figure art swivel. If you take the face off, you can see it. Take the face off so they can see it, and there you go. As a matter of fact, his is a little more complex because he has a double one. Check it out. It's here and there. That's crazy, right? Double hinges on this big behemoth's head. Now, this hairpiece has popped off like 2 or 3 times, so you may want to add a little bit of nail polish to make it a little bit thicker. That neck sculpt is beautiful. I like the way his whole chest here is just sitting out. Like, that's ridiculous, right? And then his collarbone area is pushed back with this beautiful necklace just laying right on it with a nice gem inside there. So that is a clear plastic there, and it's see-through, so it's translucent. So that's pretty cool. Neck sculpt is pretty dope. That face, man, he just looks like I'm about to whoop somebody's ass, and I know I am. So that's really good. That's really dope. Some nice sculpt work here on the top of the what would you even call this robe hanging thing? Now, this part I don't like. These are on hinges here and pegs, and same thing for these. They're more like flaps, and even in the back. The back one, not so mobile, or not so good as far as motion goes. I'm not really a fan of that. I'm not a fan of using plastic for fabric. Soft plastic, soft rubber, that's fine, but don't use hard plastic. I just don't like that. Here again, you see that the translucent jewel right there, and then you have some really nice plastic here with the translucent jewel right there, and this is hard. This is not a separate piece. This is molded on. So yeah, and then his fists are of course on that same hinge that you get from them, and it's just a closed fist there. All right, now as far as his range of motion with these things, he gets a surprisingly good amount of motion with having these things on. Even still, they don't stop it from getting this, doing the splits, doing the kicks, doing the spreads, and they are on a universal joint there, so that's pretty cool. Hinges inside of here with balls going inside of that little cup thing there, which gives him the upper thigh swivel, and then you get the up and down range motion here, and then you get the knee. What I do like is they carried the sculpting of the pant material up through the top, even where you can't see it is visible. That's really good. So there are some really cool things about this figure that stands out and really just sets them apart from anything they've done so far, especially as far as scale goes. So the hope was when they first did these is that we would see Nappa come from a successful sale of this figure. As far as I know, this figure sold very well. Everyone loved him. He was a tremendous hit. So let's hope that means he's going to get some Nappa returns on it, right? The only thing I would say is a flaw or a fallback, and not necessarily is it that it's wrong, because it does go along with the character and the design in the animation, but the feet are just so small that it's really hard to get him to stand on his own without the stand, because of how top heavy he is, and he is heavy. He does hold some weight. If you sell this guy and you say shipping is included, I hope you built that shipping cost into your asking price, because good gosh. But he does stand. It is possible. It can happen. It's happening now. Anything can happen with the proper attitude. So you can take that stand, right? Where is that stand? I'm not taking my stand out. I don't feel like it. But you can put you know how it goes with these Dragon Ball Z deals. These stands are, these power deflectors. And I never, ever use these things. I prefer just to do like some Photoshop work to make them so they have powers in my pictures or whatever. But I can see if you're posting them on your shelf and you want to do it. I don't personally understand why you want to have that bulky stand holding something, but whatever, you never know. It would have been cooler if they had it whereas this could like plug into his hand, like it was charging in his hand or something like that. Like you take the open hand and just like do it like that. That would have been really cool, but that is not the case. So yeah. The hand itself is very cartoonish, goes right along with the animation. You can see the sculpting of the knuckles and the nails there. I'm always a fan of that. Nice work on the bottom side too. These hands he's got some nutter butter digits here. Those are some Nutty Professor digits right there. The quality of the face sculpt on all of these are really good. It's not hard to screw them up, but trust me, you can screw them up. I've seen people do it. I like that. That just looks like, hey, I'm not playing no games. I'm about that business. So, yeah. So, that's Broly, basically. My final thoughts on this guy. If you can get your hands on him, get your hands on him. He's definitely something you want to have in your Dragon Ball Z collection. I know a lot of Dragon Ball Z collectors triple and double up on these guys. I'm not a fan of that. I don't do it. I don't understand why. I understand you get one or two because you want to sell one later. But I think, if anything, and you let me know what you think, I think that within the Dragon Ball Z collecting community, I think that they grab so many of the same figure because there's just a lack of... No, there's not a overall lack of characters being released because they've gone a good bit and released a good few characters, but the variety, I think, is not, or was not there at the time. At the time before the androids came out, before this guy came out, you essentially had a bunch of Goku modes. You know what I'm saying? You basically had a bunch of Goku modes. But that's not the case anymore. They've stepped it up, giving us some really great figures, and I really applaud Bandai for continually giving their collectors, their fan base, their community buying base some really great choices as far as figures go. So tell me what you think about this guy. Do you have this guy? Are you going to get this guy? Do you have this guy and you have 3 more of him just sitting on the shelf so you can take pictures of your Broly collection and post it in Facebook groups to say, hey, this is my collection of Broly so far? I don't get that. Until next time, this is Brave. I am your host, Brave. This is Brave's Toy Review. This is Broly. He's Brolic, and we're out. Next Dragon Ball Z review will be the new shit. Easy.